Going live? Okay. Excellent connection. That's new. All right. Actually looks like I'm live finally. Jeez, man. Rough day. I had my shoes stolen today. I literally had somebody go into my backyard of my house through a gate and steal my shoes. There were ones that needed to be replaced anyways. But terrible feeling, actually. All right, cool. Looks like things are working, and then it took me forever to get this thing like working. For some reason my camera wasn't very happy. But anyways, this week, after talking about it last week, I decided I did want to run the wheel, and I've always had a problem, always on the top side of figuring out what I wanted to run. And then I think last week during the stream, I was talking about my friend who runs the wheel on Tilray and has been doing it for about a year. So I decided to do that. So this this has been my 5 days since I sold puts on it. So you could probably guess that I got it signed, which I did. So anyways, this is gonna be kind of like a little side deal, and I'm gonna keep it all separate, and I'm gonna keep the I'll keep the like the figures and document every single trade I make on this one. So far that we're down a bit on it, but that's all right. That's kind of what happens, unless it happened to go up. But I think it's been overall in it's like if I look over the last 20 days or so, looks like it's kind of been up and down. So looks like I sold it like kind of right there at the top-ish, just like right after this peak. But that's fine. At least get some shares on the table. So I wanted to grab some slides, and we can talk through this and see if this is helpful, or if anybody has any questions. So since this is on Tilray, I did steal this from my buddy who loves weed, and I'm just gonna call it the Wheel of Weed on Tilray. So the funds, I'm gonna set aside $4,200 because you can't do anything. They're $420 $10 bills because you can't do anything with $10 or with $420. Let's see. Let me move this guy out of the way. There we go. So that's what I'm going to start with. I am going to use margin. It has a 68% margin requirement on it. So, and you'll see like it kind of hits just perfectly for this following week for what I'm going to do. So the beginning of this week, when everything opened up, I sold a couple of my puts. The first one at 19, it fell some more, and I sold another one at 18. So in total, I put up $1,900 worth of collateral, collected $50, and then as it was dropping, I put up another $1,800 worth of collateral and collected another $50. So far this week, basically all I've done is collected $100, and I just let them expire, so we got it signed, and this is basically where I'm sitting right now. So we started off with $4,200, $3,700 went towards collateral, which left $400, and then I'm adding $100 cash to that from the premium I'm collected. So the end of this week, or as of yesterday or today, basically have $500 worth of cash, $200 shares of Tilray now, They're only worth $16.90 a piece, so that's $3,380. So basically, like overall with a play, I collected $100, but being down so much, we're down $320 total on everything on the on this play. And then so my plan, let's see. Oh, I didn't move that over there, but basically what my plan is going into next week, we can see this is what we're going to start with basically on Monday. We'll start with our $500 cash and our 200 shares. So I just pulled this up. If you ever look at the bottom, if you go down to Robinhood, kind of on the bottom, it'll show like an initial requirement and maintenance requirement for each stock, which basically means since the requirement is 68% of the stock value, I have 32% margin I can play with since I purchased these 200 shares. So it actually turns out just right. I have on the whatchamacallit, on the, oh, I didn't put it here, but basically over here, this 3380. If I take 32% of that, then I have 1,081 combined with the $500 cash that I have, and that gives me 1,581. So that's going to allow me to sell a $16 put next week, and it's not exactly $1,600 collateral, but I get, when you open up that position, you get to take into account the fact that you do get the premium. So it would be, basically it'll put me over the $1,600 with the $39 premium. And this is what next week is going to look like. So we'll have that one put sold at 16. So if it happens to go down a bunch, that'll lower our cost basis of our stock. We'll also sell 2 calls, which we don't need to put up anything more, and that'll put a total of, it'll just depending on where everything opens up, it'll add about $90, $100 worth of cash to the account. And then so next week I don't see it ripping back up. If it goes down quite a bit more, we may get assigned on some more shares, and in which case we may just be stuck selling the covered calls for a while, which is absolutely fine. 20-30 bucks a week or so is great. And that is pretty much, that's what I'm gonna do with that little kind of separate segment, just because I wanted to get a wheel. I really wanted to get a wheel running on something, and I hadn't found anything that met my criteria at all. I kept looking at it. Like, it couldn't be something that I could only afford to sell one put on at a time, or had enough cash to secure one put. I wanted to be able to average down over time. I wanted it to be something I didn't care if I lost, which initially I looked at Ford until it ripped up. And the only problem with Ford is the volatility and the premium were so low that I didn't want to do that. So this is why we're at till right now. The premium's pretty decent. When I was going through the options, I can definitely collect quite a bit. And I think over a period of time, I mean, we'll see. This is kind of like a little experiment, but we'll see like what 4 months, 6 months, something like that looks like from now. But I'll be able to go through these every single week, and we'll see where we're at. I mean, obviously this is a really good example of just a horrible start to a strategy, kind of like Palantir when we originally purchased those. And I think let me see, let me get out of this guy, but I think, didn't I have my Robinhood open somewhere? Yeah, there's my Robinhood. Playback seems either super terrible, or everybody's actually doing stuff, or somebody's actually just out stealing my shoes. But like Palantir, this started off absolutely horrible. Like the day, the week that I had sold or bought these long dated calls on them was like, it was like straight down after that. So let me see if I bring it back to where I bought these. Like I probably, yeah, there we go. So I bought them April 27th, and then at April 27th, like for the next day it was okay, and then it was like straight down, boom, 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 boom. Like this position lost like half of its value in such a short period of time. And then thankfully we're kind of, we're back where we needed to be. If I had not averaged down, I bought the original one for 820, so we were exactly even on the first one. So I can't remember who, someone said they were going to play along with this, so they're absolutely break even on just the long call, which turns out to be, and I'm using this as a poor man's covered call, selling calls against it. So if we did that and at least kept it, I'm even on that. Plus I had averaged down, so my average cost now is $6.90, because as it went down I went ahead and bought a couple more of these, and I've sold calls against them every single week. April, May, June, I guess it's been a couple months now. I was trying to go through and get my history of how much I've actually made on selling the calls against it, but Robinhood is just, it's like a mess when I look through there. Because I think the only decent way, let's see, to go through was to look at my Palantir and then just go back in this thing. But I have all my daily investments. I see like everything's just all kind of garbled together, and I don't see a good way of filtering it out to where I could just go like one by one and grab all my options, or just have like it'd be a lot easier if it was like a spreadsheet or something like that. It'd be way, way, way easier. This is really weird. I wonder if is my stream just like super crap? It's like there's a bunch of playbacks. Looks fuzzy. Does that mean nobody's like caught up? Everything was really weird getting started today. Like 8 playbacks, but like one person actually live. Let me see. Enable DVR. I wonder if I disabled DVR, if that helps. Oh well. I guess is what it is. But if people are not in here live, then there's not much to talk about, which will make it a nice short day. Then I can get back to my regular work. So other than that one wheel that I finally found and have so far, like, I mean, a week is no history at all, but down $300, and then just looking at Tilray kind of long term. Where's our Tilray? I was just like looking at it over like the past few months. Seems like it had a low of about $13-14, so we're a few dollars from the low. So I don't feel like even at that $19-18 level, and if we end up with 200-300 shares, we might lose $1,000 or something at some point. But long term, as long as we're consistently selling calls against it, I think we should be pretty good. Is this? It looks just like one person. Let me see. Is chat working at all? And I don't, let's see, let me look. I'm gonna grab one other thing, because this might just be super short. Usually we have some stuff to BS about. But if that is not the case, then we'll go cut the grass. Okay. Let's see. To get some AMC, I'm just gonna go through some comments, see if there's anything I can talk through. Do I ever pop in amplified investing? Not recently. I would love to. I've just been tied up with so many other things. It has not been a priority lately. I would love to have some more time with that, and super enjoy it too. Super fun. Does Robinhood recognize your closing when you're buying back to close and roll over to another expiration? Yes. How do you know they won't buy the calls? That looks like we almost need to walk through that. How do you know they won't buy the calls when you're closing the buying back? It's just because if you have an option sold. So someone's just asking about like closing a position, and this is one. So we have 4 of them, and the easy way to do it is just hitting, like right now you can just hit close, and no matter what's there, it'll automatically happen. But when I'm rolling stuff out, so Robinhood won't let you do 4 options, or 8 options. So this is a 4 option strategy, and I won't be able to buy and sell these 4 and then open and close and open another 4. So the rolling on Robinhood only really works on put and credit spreads. I mean, you can have anything that just involves 2 legs. They can have different amounts, but for example, let's say, yeah, this will just have this. But okay, this is actually part of, we need to not be in this one. That's part of a, where are some? I know I have some puts. So wherever you see these, like Robinhood already knows that you have these puts bought or sold. So the little plus is the bought, and the sold, that's obviously like one that you sold. So when you go back and you just hit buy, it's automatically going to, you can't buy and sell an item like at the exact same strike price. I don't like, and there wouldn't be any reason to do it, because it would just be absolutely net zero. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like you're gonna buy and sell a $10 bill from me. Like, it just doesn't do anything for you. So yeah, it's automatically gonna do that. And I wasn't sure. So like when you're buying back to close and roll over to another expiration, how do you know they won't buy the calls? I mean, I guess if it was on the call side, you're only gonna buy them if you are. You're only gonna buy them back if you'd already sold them. But maybe this video you're asking about is when I was just rolling things over. So I guess we can look at that real quick. let's go back to something covered. So a gap, and we can look at these. Actually, I guess we'll just have to look at them. You should be the 25th, and where are we at? Robinhood is slow, especially on the weekends. 720 or 72. So I think what you're asking is, like, if I go up here and I hit buy call, like how does Robinhood know that I'm closing that out instead of just like buying calls? But it's the exact same thing. So if for some reason first it just doesn't happen because you're already negative, you've already sold them, and as soon as you hit buy that back, and then we are going to sell them at a later date to roll that, it's just going to know. The brokerages are pretty smart. Like it'll realize, like, when you have collateral. So for example, when you buy a long dated call and then you sell a call earlier, it'll use that as collateral instead of trying to take cash from you. But even if Robinhood thought you wanted to actually buy these and somehow you could sell 3 and buy 3 at the same time, it'd be fine, because you would have whatever the current value is, and they would net out 0, so you wouldn't be on the hook for anything. Like literally, if they were in the money, then you'd be able to buy them at a price and forced to sell them at the price. So or vice versa, forced to either buy and sell, or sell and buy, essentially. Guys, okay, so I can see some people are in here now. Is the stream like normal, or something really weird about it today? And is chat working at all? Because it looks like kind of not. Like maybe I just need to reset it, because I see tons of playbacks, few viewers now, like a half an hour later, and 0 chat. I wonder if I can actually look like on my stream, which usually at least somebody says hi. Let me check. Yeah, and then the users just go down. Okay. Oh. Okay, cool. So so I did. Okay, so I had to jump into the actual stream so I can see some chat. For some reason, let me just try to restart my studio here. There we go. All right. What's up, Charles? What's up, George? What's up, Ghostbusters? What's up, Pedro? All right, chat is back. How do you get filled fast on Robinhood regarding credit spreads? I'm having like no luck with it. You have to lower the price. That's all. So like we can take a look at one real quick, and you'll see like a range. So let's jump on to Tesla. I'm kind of familiar with Tesla, and maybe we'll go out a couple weeks, and let's look at getting one filled. So how about this 580? 580, let's see. I mean, I guess this isn't gonna really matter since I'm not able to do it. So right up here on the screen, I'm gonna move me back down. Boop. Okay, so like right here on the screen where you can see like this total credit is $1.05. That's really just the average. So if you want to be able to get filled quickly, you need to go below that. So you'll still hit 1, and then the limit price, you'll have to go a little bit lower. So like for example, if they're looking for this is how much you're going to get paid, So if you want somebody to make the transaction fast, you have to say, okay, I'm willing to get paid a little bit less. Opposite for a debit spread, you usually have to pay a little bit more. So for example, on this one, you want a quick fill. It says $1.05, hit $1, and then, you know, continue. Obviously you can't fill right now because we're off market hours, but you just have to lower that until you basically get it. If you are the times where that's going to be totally messed up, like where it's just not going to look right, low float stocks, so a stock that not very many people buy or sell, if it is super far in or out of the money, because those are not traded very often, or if it's like very far out, so things that expire in the next few weeks that are some like relatively close to the money on a highly traded stock, you'll be able to get filled like this. But if you're looking at some obscure weird stock that nobody trades and nobody owns, that's going to be a lot more difficult. So if you look at, I don't know, I don't even know what's an unknown stock, because obviously why would I know that? But if you look at those, you'll see like let's see, I think Clearway Energy is one I'm just trying to get filled on. So like if you look at, I want to sell one like pretty high. So first of all, you can tell that they're not very traded by the fact that there's only like quarterlies on them. And then when we get, you know, if you're like super far out of the money, like nobody, so you want to, let's say you want to sell this $45 call, but nobody wants to buy it. There has to be someone on the other end willing to take the trade, but like for a penny. That's basically nobody. And then I can't remember, how do we see the, wow, open interest 614, not bad. That's actually not bad, but that's why. How's it going? I'm a sponge, teach it all to me. Dude, I wish I knew it all. Do you know, Pedro, it is so funny. I was listening to this guy. He was talking about, like, do you think you know a lot, right? And I would normally answer, yeah, I think I know. I know a lot of stuff, or a little bit about a lot of stuff. But really, the amount we know is like so minuscule, and the amount of stuff we don't know is absolutely infinite. But if there's something specific that you want to know, that you think I know, and I think I know, ask me, man. I'll do my best to help you out for sure. I definitely don't know near all of it, but I know what I'm doing. What's your thoughts on rolling weekly SPY spreads? I've been doing some that were just like I'll just sell them like a month out. But weekly, what's the premium and how far out of the money? That was the only problem. I liked broken wing butterflies better on the SPY than the spreads. I was trying to get on QQQ, and then also on Tesla. It was damn near impossible to get me out of my long call condor. Okay, so on a condor, I'm not sure how far under you were going, but realize, so on just a vertical, you only have 2 positions. So one you're gonna have to agree to pay a little bit less for, and one you're gonna have to agree to pay a little bit more for. And then with a condor, you have 4 positions doing that. So you have to go quite a bit less for a condor a lot of times, especially like when it's being so volatile too. I'm surprised on the Qs and Teslas, like you don't get much more easy. You shouldn't get much more easy. But you were just trying to close it out. And I think the average, because like the average price, if you were, pretty much at like pretty close to expiration, I noticed that same thing. Like it'll show an average price of like $3 because it's pretty much going to expire worthless, and I will put like $5 or $6, but realize there's again those 4 positions, so I usually give it at least $1 for each position, which on an iron condor is going to be $4, so the average is 3, so I'm putting 7, 8, 9, 10 to get closed pretty quickly, which sucks on a condor. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be stuck on a put credit spread for a while till it goes back up. Yeah, yeah, that was a crazy drop. Was that Friday? Friday morning? Like, it's so funny with. I didn't even notice it was a bad day because my. Jesus, that looks ridiculous. Just because my portfolio is so Tesla heavy. That's 10 days. Wow. I wonder. That doesn't look too bad. Well, I guess if you're, I don't know where you sold it at. I don't know. Like, it seems like all these reactions are an overreaction. Like, if you look at all these, like, what was it, like a few days before, it was literally like you have a dip, like from 416. We're like, oh no, and then it's literally 2 days later, and then off to all-time highs again, and then we had this, oh no, and then you're a couple days later, you're still within a couple dollars. All these guys, but I mean, put credit spread, you're on the right side of things, unless Michael Berry's right, and we're gonna see this massive crash. That's the craziest thing. Definitely easy for me to see teach me, but coming into spreads, I don't even know what I don't know, so I'm just absorbing anything I can. Yeah, that's smart. We never know what we don't know. What do you know? I mean, I think like the basics are pretty straightforward as far as like what it is. Putting some money up. Basically, you're agreeing to provide some liquidity, and I mean, this is fantastic. So, like on this chart, you sell it, it drops a little bit, you roll out, and you just wait for the stock to go up, because that is what just, I mean, over time, that's why put credit spreads, I think, are just the right thing, just because over that long term, it is up and up. I mean, that would be a scary time down here, and you probably wouldn't have much left. So that's where you would just get shattered with trying to roll it out. You'd have to roll it out a little ways. All right, let's see. Oh, Ghostbusters, does that make sense though? Like, you think you just had to pay a little bit more to close it? That's slippage. I mean, we use Robinhood for our free commission, but it's the slippage. That's how we pay for a Robinhood for sure, 100%. Because I get way better fills, like on TD or Tastyworks. I get way better fills, but I pay for it, right? Every single trade costs me. All right, Friday, 417, 416s. Yeah, I had Friday, I had expiring, I don't know if you saw it, but I had 413, 412s expiring. And I could have closed it out like at any time for a couple dollars, and I was just like, it'll expire like for nothing. And then at the end of the day, I'm like super pissed that I didn't close it out. It was $100 collateral. I collected $40 premium, so my max loss was only $60, and I'm sitting on an account that every single second I like lose 1,000, gain 500, and I'm like super stressed about that. So I kind of wish I would have. I really wish I would have closed it out at like 80 or 90% profit. Oh, okay. So you rolled up, and I think you can totally do that with the SPY too. Like, I don't even know what the cost of the calls are. Like if they're super cheap right now, and this last week I did not pay super good attention to like why all that was. If it's just fear, or digestion of what the Fed says, I really don't know what the reason. Like, is it Was it market changing, or is it just a bunch of overreaction? And if it's a bunch of overreaction, I think that is the best time. Like, you can buy the calls just for like nothing. Actually, I'm just curious. Did the Qs do the same thing as? Actually, let's see. I assume Qs did the same thing as the SPY. Yeah. NASDAQ. Okay. So everything did the same thing there. But I'm wondering what like super cheap calls are right now. Let's see, June 23rd, Monday. Still for quite a, yeah, they're going for quite a bit, I guess. What is next Friday gonna cost? A lot of volatility though. Okay, those are a little bit more expensive than I had imagined with that big drop. I believe I jumped in when you were explaining what rolling out a spread was, but what is that? I've traded vertical debit spreads before, but didn't understand how profit was done. Yeah, debit spread is completely different than a credit spread. So you're like, generally in a debit spread, you're paying a small amount of money for a capped result, capped profit, and they can be bought for very, very cheap, and it's always ideal when it's like low. You can buy some stuff, you know. It's like buying like, you know, we can buy some of these debit spreads like a 421, 422, one of those. They cost us like $20 or something, and then we can gain 80. So it's pretty decent. But credit spreads are going to be the opposite. You're going to put up a lot of collateral, like, so you're going to instead say this probably isn't going to happen, and we're going to put up $100 just to put $20 like in our pocket. But the advantage of the put credit spread is, or a credit spread, I always default to saying put because that's what I play most of the time, just because they're the ones that are going to be profitable if the market goes up, sideways, or down a little bit. And when we step back and look at most decent stocks or any of the indexes over a super long period of time, generally they go up. They don't generally go down. Yes, we'll have months, we'll have days, we'll have weeks, and maybe even some quarters, like some seasons where everything's down. But overall, you just look at 5 year, 10 year, something like that, they go up. So that's what we're doing. I generally play the put side. So that's like, I put up the $500 like on Tesla, because I'll do $500 spreads, or $5 spreads, which cost me $500 worth of collateral, saying it's not going to go below 545, and I'll collect a small amount, maybe $50. And if it happens to go down, then I can do what's called rolling it out, to basically where I agreed to provide that $500 worth of liquidity on maybe next Friday. And then if it goes down against me, I can move that out like a month, a year. Like, I can move that out however far, stock can go back up, and I still keep my $500. There's probably a lot more to talk about just in I can explain right here, but I'd be happy to put just a super basic video together. Just put credit spreads. I love them. They're my favorite thing. Let's see. Okay. One last question. What would you think about call credit spreads on ETF? Just because the market can crash in an instant? I don't know. But they also can rip up in a second. That's the problem. So that's my biggest problem with call credit spreads, is just as much as they can drop, they can rip. But the difference being, like, and this is what I think. Okay, we'll look at the SPY again. and we definitely have these ripperonis, and we don't. The problem is we don't get times where it comes back down, especially on an ETF. But if we're on the put side and it comes down, we wait long enough, continuing on, and it goes up. So that's why I don't like them nearly as much, and that's why they just scared me. You do weekly iron condors on the SPY. They're probably great. Like, as long as you're within those channels and you keep up on it, fantastic. My my Discord premium, I don't have premium. I don't charge for anything. I'm going to have to start a Patreon to replace my shoes somebody stole. I don't know. I think everybody came in here late, but literally I had my shoe. Somebody came into my backyard while I was dropping my girlfriend off and stole my shoes. 2 pairs, boots and shoes, so I can't mow the lawn. God, I don't know, drugs these days. But I think it'll probably be like this week or next week. There'll probably start being some ads on my video. I think I'm like right at monetization levels now. But no, I really don't want to charge for anything. It mainly because like the biggest thing is any information you can get from me, you can get 1,000 other places. There is 100% like no secret sauce. The market is fair. There's definitely like pump and dumps. You can copy some people's plays, fine. But yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, don't pay. Don't pay. The only thing I would ever pay for is like if I was having a really difficult time understanding something, maybe just like a one-on-one call with somebody who was really good at like just explaining things. Like, okay, I tried to watch the videos and I just don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Most people aren't willing to put in the work. It's like day trading. I think that takes like a solid year of losing, losing, winning, studying, and that stuff's hard. It's just like hard work. It's just like anything else, and it gets monotonous too. Like, literally on these Fridays when I'm just like rolling out a whole bunch of calls and I'm collecting, yesterday I think I collected a couple $2,000-3,000, and it's maybe it took me 20, 30, 40 minutes, but it's almost like annoying because it's not fun. Like, there's some parts of it that are fun, but just like that. Oh, hey, I just killed. Okay, I thought I actually killed my mic. Whoops. Okay, I think I'm back now. No, I just killed it. I killed my mic. It fell, so hopefully, yeah. It says I'm making noise now. I wonder if let me see. Looks like, okay. Looks like the volume's pretty decent. Nope, wrong button. Okay. The level's okay. Okay, there. All right, no muted. I don't know where I was, but anyways, yeah. Tons and tons of information available, and if you really want to know, it'll take first, you need to like sit down, learn it, study it, practice it. Like, if you don't get it at first, use a paper trading account. I think WEBULL has one, and TD Ameritrade has a paper trading account, and like just do it and see how things react. Like, when I first started, I just kind of like jumped in. I'm like, hey, just try it. And if I lost, my idea was, if I lost a couple $100, like learning it, it would have been fine, because actual like education takes, I mean, it takes a lot of money, a lot of commitment, a lot of time, and a few $100s was nothing compared to what I'd probably pay for like, a proper education on it, I suppose. Yeah, Thinkorswim is great for paper trade. And then if there's something that you don't know, like reach out to somebody, or try to get some like one-on-one time. I get it. Like, it's like me, I'm trying to learn how to cook this new food, and I cannot find anybody, like any information out there on this, like, so it's like an ethnic food, but everybody like in that culture like cooks it, so they know all the basics, and I don't know just like the really 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 basic things, and they only show like these advanced deals. So I'm about to like find somebody on Fiverr or something and reach out to them to try to learn how to mess with some paneer. I know I'm gonna find one day. And the whole reason, and actually like the whole reason I started doing this in the first place, like even like just posting this stuff, is just because I was like, this stuff is super cool, I want to share it. My coworkers and stuff weren't really interested, and people I knew weren't really interested. And then I just started, I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and then and then I could actually share what I'm learning, what I'm doing, and then answer some of the questions like with you guys, and it makes it like super fun. Sometimes it feels like a little bit more of a commitment than I want, like some days where I'm just like, I don't want to put anything out there, or like when I have like a bad day, but I also want to be like super transparent, like, hey, today I lost 10 grand, don't do what I did or whatever, or this is just like part of it. Like for me, it's just all part of it. I've had super, like, my account's like super awesome to me. Started with $500 and made a couple 100,000 so far, but I've definitely it's definitely way off of all-time highs, which is also fine. I think it's like part of the journey, part of what you go through. And if I didn't have the stomach for that, then I probably shouldn't be doing it. And it's like, I don't know if you guys caught what I'm doing with like Tilray with that wheel. Like, I started that last week, something I want to do, and for my first week I'm down 300 and some bucks on it. But this is all like everything that you're trying to learn, everything that like you want to learn, and there's plenty of things that you don't know that you're going to learn, like all that stuff coming together. That's this is all knowledge today that you're going to be able to use a year from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now, hopefully. And then we all get new curveballs thrown at us, right? Like even guys who've been investing for 60 years had never seen an AMC or a GameStop. Like, what the heck is that? Then we got the whole crypto market, and we have that, which takes away from the normal market, and then we start learning like how those things move. But it's always going to be continual, 100% continual education. This past year and a half with more retail traders than ever, that's going to be a huge difference too. Like everything's completely like evolving. So to get, learn, take it slow. We have plenty of time, right? We have years, decades to trade. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. All right, I lied to you. I love that. Oh, those are my goals. Started with small as well. I want to make 50K within the year. Yeah, I don't know. Like first, I'm just gonna say value knowledge over the dollar amount. Like I don't know if this is your first year. Like your first year, if you can learn what the hell you're doing within a year, that is a fantastic goal. And then realize like the average like hedge fund manager, right? They're just trying to beat the S&P 500. So if they did 10% in a year, then it's good. So don't set your goal too ridiculously high to where you're frustrated when you don't do it. I mean, 5% a month, if you ever calculate 5% a month out, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Or what 10% a year looks like, in 10 years. It's nuts. Do I ever let my credit spreads expire worthless? Or do I always close them out? I do let them expire worthless sometimes. If they're super far out of the money, and they're not on something that I consider super volatile. So it's like on that SPY put credit spread I had, I don't consider the SPY like all that volatile, but obviously it moved a lot. Friday, that was a pretty crazy move. But let's see, anything that's anywhere close to the money, I generally will roll out it or close, just because if I'm like a day away, my thought process is I'm a day away from expiration. Crazy stuff does happen in the market, and if I'm waiting 24 hours or like a few hours more, and I have at risk $500 to collect another $4 or $3, like that doesn't make any logical sense to me. Like, why do I want to put my $100 on the line for $2? Like, it's just, that's silly to me. I might as well just like close it out and then do something else with that money, or roll it out to the next week. If it's something super far out of the money to where, like the stock is doubled and it's not on like a meme stock, then sure, I'll let it expire. But for the most part, like, when you've gained like 90% on a credit spread, I just don't see the value in waiting that last little bit. But that's me. Starting your second year now, starting this at 500, just about $4,000. Awesome. Dude, that is super awesome. So what is that? 2, 4, is that 800% on your 500? 2 or 400, something like that. That's super awesome. What do you mostly playing with, like, as far as your plays, Pedro? Yeah, now that my chat's actually working, I should go over like what I have going on with my account. Did you guys catch I don't know if the wheel stuff came through at first, but so let's look at these. I cannot believe I have this June 30th. This is one of the SPY put credit spreads that I have that I wish I would have closed out. I could have closed this out at any time for $10, gained most of my profit, and now I hardly have any gains on it because the S&P dropped so much. Let's see. So I have an iron butterfly on Tesla that's expiring next week. So iron butterfly a little bit different. I don't think anything major is happening over the weekend, so I'm gonna hold this kind of like as long as I possibly can, but way different than most situations, just because my gain is so high on an iron butterfly over the last like few days. And then so the rest of these, like, wow, 7.2, I have a whole bunch of them. So just kind of going through these, and I can tell you what I'll probably do beforehand. So anything that is kind of close to the $600 level, I'll roll those out like this Friday. I'll probably roll them out, just because I know there's a risk of it dipping below $600 again. The 545s, I can wait or let expire worthless. Like, that's kind of, for me, the 545 is kind of like the line where I don't think it's going to cross like at all whatsoever every single time. Like we get down to like 546 pre-market and it just like rockets back up. But these I could let expire worthless. But the thing is, like when I have such low amount to gain, like what are these guys? Yeah, $23. So you have already gained like 50% of this just like in a couple days. When did I do these? 14th, just like a few days ago. I also want to make sure that there's some decent gains there. But we have a ton of them expiring like just in the next couple of weeks. We're starting to kind of build them up again because I had to move so many out. And then July 16th was another one that we have quite a few going, and that's just because that's when we'll actually have delivery, production numbers, earnings, and then potentially some other good news like Cybertruck and semi stuff going on. Yeah, options are ridiculously easy for how difficult it is. And you think about it, like when you first got into it, how options and people talking about it sounded like a foreign language. I always compare it to learning a foreign language. Like at first, like it just sounds like noise, and then you start getting it more and more, and then you and I can actually have a conversation about it. And at first, like when you're learning about them, you're like, what what does that mean? Slow down for me. You're and then when you use like interchangeable terminology, like the difference between when you're talking about here's my short position compared to something that you'd sold, completely like that first year of knowledge is super awesome. You like reading charts and use TA for trading, use technical analysis for trading? Yeah, I barely use any technical analysis whatsoever, just like price action and playing the news. So far so good though, except for a minus $21 today, because I can't believe $21. That must mean Doge is down. So if you didn't know before, my girlfriend loves Dogecoin. She bought a crap load at like, I can't even remember, 4 cents or 5 cents. So she was like dancing around the house. She spent $40,000 on it. Like way too much. So those days when it was hitting like 60 and 70 cents, she was like dancing around just crazy. And now that it's gone down, she's been sad, even though she's still 5x her money. But I told her, I was like, I'll support you, and I'll put in I'd sold all mine like at 60 some, like before, and then I put in in order to buy some when it was at 31 cents. I said I'll buy $100 worth, and I said when it goes down to 25 cents, I'll buy another 100, and then I'm done. I'm like done with the Doge because I think it's absolutely worthless. Yeah, I have another 31 cents. So I bought that, and then I have a limit buy, and I'll buy them again at 25 cents, but that's it. But I think Doge is just I think it's done. I have my crypto I've had forever, and that's it. That's good for me. All right. Well, I think I got. Man, where's my? I can't remember. I use that like guys. I know I could ask some questions about some Indian cooking. I need to get those guys in my chat. It's have very important questions. Unless you guys have anything. What is it? Yeah, it's about 2:30. About an hour. Glad the stream actually worked and the chat actually worked. And then so next week I'm gonna if you guys didn't catch it, I'm running the wheel on Tilray. Got assigned these 200 shares, 200 fat Tilray shares, down $320 on those. Gonna sell some covered calls. That's gonna be my new wheel stock. The only one I think I'm gonna run the actual wheel on, purposefully trying to get called away or assigned on shares. Man, super overpaid. I need to actually talk to somebody about weed stocks because I don't pay attention to them. I don't really care. I don't really care much about that space or like what pushes those up or brings them down. I assume this downward move has something to do with number one. I think the top kind of got blown off here to where it was just like overpriced. And number two, just overall market. Do I have any book recommendations? No. I still like The Richest Man in Babylon. I think that was really good. And that's just more, it's like account management and just taking care of your money rather than actual trading. Yeah, actual trading books. And I haven't read very many. But nothing that stood out like, and I think maybe because, 2020, 2021, most of us, where do we start? We're like, go on to YouTube, how to trade options, right? How to make money in stock market, something like this. And then, so we've already got a pretty good exposure to a lot of people's opinions, and then we can do that so passively, just do whatever, play a video game and play a video in the background, and we can kind of passively learn that way. So to take the time to stop doing everything and actually read a book is a little bit tough. So no, there hasn't been like much profound stuff. I think there's some good. Depends also what you're interested in too. Like if you're interested in the technical side or I think the psychological side is more interesting than anything else, and I think it's one that people don't take into account while trading. Is like we have all the known costs. Like we know, okay, it's going to cost us, like when I trade on TD or Tastyworks, it's going to cost me $4 a trade or $2 a trade or whatever it is. It's going to take me my time. If I buy a stock, it can go down. So like this, I can lose my $300. But not a lot of people ever calculate in like the mental difficulty. So like you've taken a year, Pedro, to grow your account from 500 to 4,000. And then like how emotionally difficult it is if you see that $4,000 turn into 2,000 like over the course of a week, just because the market does something crazy. Like emotionally, that is super, super difficult for a lot of people to handle, and that's part of the price. And I don't think you can really help it. It's hard to look at the fact, hey, you still took $500, and even if it went down to 2,000, you'd be like, yo, like I still like 400 times my money. Like that's super awesome. But as soon as you're down, it's pretty rough. You can't seem to figure out where to start as far as option. I've tried calls, but honestly, I've had bad luck with those. Oh, just like naked calls. Oh God, no! He's fell into the Doge trap. Yikes. Okay. So let's see. Let me read this. Okay. I can't seem to figure out where to start as far as option. I've tried calls, but honestly, I've had bad luck with those. Currently, I have $4,000 into my account. I fell into the Doge trap with $2,000 in Doge. Currently down $600, just playing the waiting game. Eventually, I want to make money passively, but I feel like I don't have enough capital to do spreads or covered calls. So you 100%. Are you trading in Robinhood, or where are you trading? Dude, you have, okay, Robinhood. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to do, like, and when you're talking about covered calls, you're thinking about buying like 100 shares of something and then selling premium on it, if that's what we're talking about. Like, and then if you're talking about just buying calls, yeah, you're probably going to have bad luck on those. Those generally, like, unless you know, and if you're just getting started, you probably don't know what you, or you think you might know something, but maybe you don't. But like calls, they're not very likely to profit unless they're deep in the money. So they would be like very expensive ones. Like leaps are generally profitable. So that's something like you buy a year out with like a zero point 0.7 delta, which means it's pretty far in the money. And those are not fun. They're just sit and wait. So this is like these Palantir ones I have. They're not fun and they're expensive. So, but like, and it also depends how you have to decide how active you want to be. Do you want to be like buying and selling and managing and worrying about the price change every single day? But these, let's see, oh, like these guys. I mean, they expire in a year. I have a year to play with these things, which is a long time compared to trying to mess with some stuff like every single day. But I think one of the really good starting ones, find a stock that you like. You're gonna have to find it for, let's see, so $4,000. I mean, that's exactly what I'm doing with Tilray. Okay, let's see. Even poor man's covered call as well, because I've checked some stocks and the long leaps are like, yeah, I know. Yeah, they're super expensive. So why not? Have you thought about just doing like a cash covered put and start selling those? Hey, Heap. I haven't seen you in a minute. Kind of missed you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, those leaps they're very expensive. And yeah, when you're playing with $4,000, but if I was starting something with a small account again, I would either put credit spreads. Congratulations on having twins. Sounds like fun and a lot of work. So yeah, put credit spreads or just straight up covered calls if you can find a stock that you like that you can afford to buy 100 of. So I'm starting that with Tilray. I mean, you can sell a $16. You need $1,600 for a weekly. Collect $40 on it. It's going to be slow. Not a recommendation, but that's one I'm going to start picking up on. How long have I personally rolled a losing spread that turned into a winner or break even? I actually had quite a few of the Tesla put credit spreads that I rolled out to, I think I rolled them out like about a year, and then when it went back up, I rolled them closer in both ways for a credit, and then it turned into a winner. So but as far as just kind of like kicking the can down the road and waiting for that time, maybe a couple months or so. You bought a leap and then sold cover call against it and went in the money, and I forgot to close. Do they automatically sell the leap? Yeah. Which sucks because you have to exercise the leap to be able to buy those shares. But that sucks. Didn't you you had something else happen? Didn't you go in the the ER and you couldn't roll something? You need an account manager. But yeah, because if you're selling the covered call against it, that's your collateral right there, and there's no other way for it to exercise. That's what I thought. Good Lord. You need collateral to do those. Yes. So you need collateral equal to 100 times the share price. So right now, for example, Palantir, 25. If I was to sell somewhere near the money, I would need to sell a $25 put. I would need $2,500 minus the collateral that would be received. So if I look at selling a put for next week, for this $25 put, I would need $2,450 because I also get that $50 credited towards my account instantly. And then so if you had $2,450, that adds $50. Then you have the $2,500 to be able to purchase the shares if you get assigned. What's up, Decimate? Holy smokes, getting busy in here. If I had $5,000, how would you best start investing it? Depends on what my goals were. If I was me, I would just start selling some put credit spreads. That's all. If I wanted like zero maintenance, I may just maybe just the SPY's on sale, the Qs are on sale right now, like just buy some of that. But I kind of do both because I have like my long-term holdings that I just don't touch. I have the public account, which I show like all my trades. I have Tastyworks, where I'm like a little bit less aggressive on. And then even like my public account, the Robinhood one, you'll see like I have Coca-Cola and AT&T and stuff I don't touch. If I wanted to take that money and make it multiply, I would just start selling. I would sell put credit spreads on Tesla is what I would do at 545, 545, 540s, a week or two out, and just start building like that. If I wanted to be a bit safer, I would find a stock that I personally liked for $50, around the $50 price or less, and sell puts on it. What are my thoughts on Docu overextended? I haven't actually seen it, and I own it on my. I own it too. What is? I haven't looked at. I actually haven't looked. I mean, nothing looks too nutty about it. Like and that's just obviously a short glance. No, I don't think it is. Oh. Yeah. I mean, technically, yes. Price, like just price history and stuff, not too much. I'm curious. I want to see how much stock you do I own. So let's see. Hey, look, DocuSign is so integral to everything we're doing right now too. So, and I don't pay attention to any of their earnings calls, anything like that. But I mean, what a company that's not going away. Like, just no way. And there's still so many industries that don't use that. It's just stupid. Stupid that they don't use it. Every single time they want a real signature. TD Ameritrade, in order to open up one of my accounts, they're like, we need a wet ink signature. Like, what? Let me see. Which portfolio is that in? I'm just seeing how much Docu I own. At least I think I do. DocuSign. Hey, I bought it. How much did I buy it at? I bought DocuSign at $108.91. We're up 160% on my DocuSign. Nice. I should know that. Do you have a projected range of where Tesla will move in this coming week? No. I think let's see. If I had to guess, I'm really surprised it did not move with the rest of the market. That was pretty shocking. I was actually surprised to see it up, but since we found out, I believe, was this Friday, Thursday, Wednesday? Was it Tuesday? What was the date there? 6:15. I can't remember if it was 6:14 or 6:15 is where Jerome sold a whole lot of shares, like a ton of it. So which may have accounted for some of the slide. I don't see below 600. And okay, so I would say, if I had to guess, somewhere between 6 and maybe 630. I mean, the crazy thing is, it's not very long before July where I think we're going. I mean, it's 2 weeks away before we're going to see some delivery and production numbers. From what I understand, like Q3 has already been sold out. So I think we're very much poised for a crazy rip up. Like, I think so, which is why I've taken off almost all my iron condors. I was selling the call side for a while, but it always, like with Tesla, it always scares me more to the top side than it does to the downside. The downside is just more buying opportunity for me. But the top side, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that's just a major. Good Lord. Where's my drawings? That is just a huge wedge. Just waiting. I mean, oh, that is just huge. Hey, can we not draw on my off days? That is just huge. Hey. To me, that is just like a huge wedge. And I don't know if this is going to the breakout here, but that looks to me just like the mother of all wedges. And I mean, we are, what are we, this 7/21. So we're a month away from their next earnings call, and this is going to be huge. This is going to be bigger than most people would think. Not even with any of their major catalysts, just the way that the earnings are poorly interpreted, because Elon's bonuses are, that is part of the expense, but most of those tranches are going away for this next earnings. It's going to be huge. 600, 597s. Yeah, I've been doing a little bit less than the 600s. I just want to be a little bit more safe than that, just in case, just because the overall market. But I guess, yeah, that's pretty smart. Like, if we see a red Monday, I'm like low-key hoping for some red on Tesla, because number one, there's a long-term debit spread I want to make. I want to buy the 2023s, a 900, 1400 debit spread. I want to buy that, and it's like six grand. So if we can go down $20, it'd save me a little bit. So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, 600. I'm still like, I never know how a week is going to end up. Like, I don't know how far out you're thinking about selling that, but like on a weekly or daily basis, they're getting, I don't know, the $600 levels. Kind of scared. 1400 short leg. My long would be the 900. Did I say that right? Yeah, debit spread. Mm-hmm. Call debit spread. Maximum 44. I think it was like a 44. That's what I was looking at. So I've been meaning to buy it. I'm actually going to buy it in my TD account, but we can look at what it was. So TD, like Robinhood, I can put 50,000 or something, and I can have $50,000 worth of trading power right away. But on TD, it has to clear 100% before you're allowed to do anything with options. So I have I put money in there just to buy this specifically. And I put it in last week sometime, but it takes a few days. And then of course Tesla went up, because I don't have the buying power in there until it actually clears. So I want to buy the 900 and sell the 1400. This is what it is. This is the guy. So break even of $960 by June of 2023. So 2 years to make it up to $900, when their production growth has been 50% a year. And if it happens to go up much more, I mean, I think we have all the huge catalysts kind of in line. We have obviously production and profitability. We have the Model 2 potential, Cybertruck. We have the semi and all that stuff. So if we happen to get up above that $1,400 level in 2 years, which I think is not unreasonable, that's a max profit of $43,000 on a $6,000 debit spread. But that's what I'm looking at buying. I'm super excited to buy this. I was like, I don't have enough money in there, so I had to go put some cash in my TD account, because I just want it. I want it in there instead of my Robinhood. But that is the one. I think it's either that or I just paid double for the 900. But then I have unlimited upside. But I think that's a pretty reasonable one. So are you still in here? Did that happen to you, that the call that you sold against your leaps, did that just happen this weekend? Not afraid of the come down when rates go up? Not long term. Nope. Long term, I don't think so. I still as of right now, the really good in-depth pick it apart analysis on Tesla to me is just, I think it's super undervalued right now. I think it's an absolute bargain at $600, $620. One of the better analysis I saw on it was that showed the stock price today, right now, today, only producing what the factories can produce. So no Texas, no Berlin, no future full self-driving, no robo-taxis, no solar, no Tesla energy, no, none of it. Just revenue on what can currently be produced at the current production rate. Gives it a value of $400 and some per share with a really moderate P ratio. So only $200 more per share for all things that are being built, potential catalyst, Tesla Solar, Tesla Energy, and all these things, plus just being forward looking. I think 620 is insanely good. I honestly I don't see it. I don't see 2025. There's no way this is under $3,000. I don't think. And and rates, and I assume you're just talking about interest rates. I don't think that's changing much. I mean, the costs of everything for Tesla are coming down. Yeah, there's some supply stuff, but like their manufacturing costs are coming down so much. They're everywhere. I don't know where you guys live, but literally, I can drive down the road and I'll just like count them, and that's just the car. I've had mine for a year now. Like, besides the paint, that sucks, and like little gaps and stuff, but the owning, the driving, the intuitiveness, like everything is 100. Like, it's just 100% next level. There's nothing else like it at all. I was in my girlfriend's car, like taking it to get an oil change. We don't worry, we have her Cybertruck ordered, so we won't have to do that for very much longer. But I was just like sitting in it, like waiting for something, and I'm like, is this normal? Is the vehicle just supposed to shake? And that's, I guess, since it's been a year without it, like, I didn't realize, like, normally a car just idles and it just shakes and it makes noises when you're just sitting there doing nothing. It's not just dead quiet, which is something I've gotten used to now. But I think getting back to the 600s, I actually do have, you can see these 7.2s. I have those same ones that you're calling out right there. 600, 597s. Oh, I have a whole one of them. But you can see, so do I have any? That's my only 600. And what do we have? We have 5 590s, 2 580s, 5 580s, and 570s. And I get a little bit heavier on the lower side, just because I don't want to be too greedy. I just want to grab a couple $1,000s a week, or $1,000 a week is cool. It's good. And then all my long stuff that I rolled out super far, December. I do have some debit spreads, like some 990s, some crazy stuff in case it happens to rip up. But most of those, I just expect the end of the year to be well above $700. That's about it. Got about 10K, try to build up to buy me a Tesla. Hell yeah. I bought mine. I've paid for mine with Tesla so far. Which one are you going to get? Did you already get it picked out? And 10K, like, what is 10K going to do? What do we need to do? And when do you have a goal date in mind? I love those. Oh wait, let's go to. Yeah. Where are those? Compound interest calculator. Waiting for the new battery. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Compound interest calculator, dude. I love these. I like, it'd be pretty cool, but what I realize is I don't care. 2022, $10,000. Let's see, $10,000. Monthly contribution 0. Length and time 1 year. Estimated interest rate. This is the percentage. Let's see. Can we back into this? Let's see. What are you gonna have to do? 10% a month, 15% a month. 10% a month will double your money in 7 months. Compound, can it do that? Oh, your interest rate can only be 100. I had to find a different tool on that. Oh, dang. And you add 250. A lot of them won't let you do 100. Contribution, let's see, 250 bi-weekly, so that's 500. Hey, wait, 10,000. Investment lifespan and compound. Let's see, will it do that? Getting pretty close. 47,000. Oh, it only lets you do 50%. No. I found one before that allows you to do more than that. So 50% return, that would be like 4% a month. You could do it. For sure. That's only 5%. That's like 4% a month. That's it. If you can make 5%, 6%, like most of those put credit spreads, like look at like the 550, 545s. That's 10% right there on every single one. And I think that's seriously easy to do. Just hopefully it doesn't get overextended again. That's the only thing that sucks. This is the part that I know is gonna suck. We'll have it like rip up to like 900, 1200, and then it's going to be just as scary as it ever was to sell some put credit spreads, at 800 because it went up. But yeah, 100%. I wish I could find the one because I used one before that allowed you to do it correctly. Is this one rate of return? God, no. I hate these. Like, I don't understand why they won't let you do above 100 because I'll bet this one does. It's just like math. Principal 10,000. Annual rate. There we go. 120%. That's 10% a month. Compound. Let's see. You're probably selling a couple weeks out. Time in years. 1. Oh, but there's no monthly contribution. Dang it. This doesn't have a monthly contribution one. Oh well. We can do it some other day. All right. Ideally get to $50,000 and sell enough spreads to pay for the monthly payments. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, because that's what's super hard now is why pay so much cash if you're going to get an interest rate. Like I financed mine and my interest rate's like 1.75, and if I can't make 1.75 money like on the money I'm holding, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I get paid, my employer basically pays for my car payment. I put 25, I put some like random number, like a weird number, so that way whatever my payment was plus insurance, that's exactly like what my employer pays me per week or per month. And I think I can't remember, they pay me like $800 or something like that. So yep. Alrighty. Well, got the white one picked out. Yeah, and don't get the upgraded wheels. That's all I'm gonna say. I drove one. I have the the bigger black wheels, and when I was having mine serviced, I drove the one with like a little bit smaller wheels, and since there's that little bit more rubber for the cushion, it drove so much better, like way more comfortable, way better. So get the normal wheels. If you want something that looks cooler, just white interior is sexy. Get the white interior. But anyways, I'm gonna go. Been a while. Unless there's any last minute stuff, then we'll see you guys Monday for my my plays on Tilray, my wheel of weed, and I guess we'll see how Monday shakes out. See if it was a big overreaction. I guess we should be able to tell pre-market tomorrow a little bit, see what the reaction is. Hey Pedro, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, everybody's like hung on this long. Thank you guys. This makes it super fun for me, super interesting, super glad to have you. Yeah, love having the back and forth so much. It's like so much more fun. But yeah, you guys have a good weekend too. Love you guys, and we'll see you Monday and hopefully live next week. All right, bye.